Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a lovely little perpetual calendar in stainless steel from East Germany, Glashütte Original, and the city of origin is on the dial, gives us the Karrée Perpetual calendar. So in stainless steel, this is haute horlogerie and high complication, 34.5 millimeters wide, not including the crown, 12.4 millimeters thick, and 44.7 millimeters from lug to lug. The watch wears easily on my wrist of 16 centimeters circumference. You can see it's relatively short across the wrist, but because rectangular watches always wear larger, I encourage you to think of it as a 40 millimeter round watch to get the basic idea. That said, with the stepped case flank and the sloped bezel, it will slide underneath the cuff, and it's comfortable enough on my wrist size. I would recommend it for wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. The watch includes a factory strap that is calfskin on the bottom. You can see, never crimped, never gouged. A bright, one might say, honey-colored alligator leather on the top. It's somewhere between honey and a little bit of rust red. It's a medley of those tones with a contrasting stitch, a little bit of bolstering to give it some volume, large rectangular scale, the most expensive cut, and a semi-gloss finish, and then we have folded edges. You can see that the watch includes a double deployant clasp in steel, twin trigger release so it can't pop open accidentally, and that provides some insurance against accidentally dropping your watch while donning it or removing it. Taking a look at the case, you can see that it has a surprisingly complex form. We have a stepped out mid case that's all polished. We then have a border flanking the mid case that's longitudinally satinated. We have satin across the top. Then we have a very spare, geometrically profiled, polished bezel that rises above the satinated flanks and then the polished end profiles. So there's a lot to see here. You can even see that the end profiles are faceted, giving this watch a great deal of sculptural complexity. Turning the watch over, you can see that the case back is polished, but the underside of the lugs are satinated. As I mentioned, lots of nuance. On the dial as well, as you can see, the Dauphine hands at center are fluted down their middle for better contrast. We have faceted, rhodium-plated dart-style hour indices that are all appliqué, two different finishes. The hour track outboard has a vertical satin finish, and then the center within the minutes ring, that's actually media blasted. Perpetual calendar does not need to be adjusted in theory until the year 2100. It can deal with leap years, it can deal with irregular length months. We have a double-digit panorama datum. We have the day and the month, a little dot that will change color when the leap year arrives. Then we have a moon phase, and the moon phase, once set, does not need to be corrected for 122 years. Now, the watch does not include a second subdial, though it retains the underlying architecture of the caliber GUB39. This is the GUB39-51. So, though it does not have seconds, it does feature stop seconds. This automatic winding manufacture movement has a 40-hour power reserve and pivots on 48 joules, beats away at 8 beats per second. It has the perpetual calendar and the moon phase complication. It has a Glashütte Original logo on a skeletonized rotor with a 21 karat gold mass. You can see we have screws that are black polished. We have a black polished swan's neck regulator. We have engine turning on the base plate, and we have a deep engraving on the outer face of the bridges bearing the winding bridge as well as the barrel bridge. Now you can see we also have a multiply solarized reduction wheel for the winding system, and that is finished by hand to create that lovely satin spiral pattern. All of this is 30 meters water resistant, so splash only. This is not a watch to take swimming, but there are other watches such as the Glashütte Original CQ if you want to go swimming. It's a nicely finished movement that compares favorably with the likes of its Swiss peers such as Zenith and Jaeger-LeCoultre, and of course Glashütte Original building far fewer watches than either of those. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.